There are pains in this life that never heal, no matter how much time passes. I am not telling this story for pity. I'm telling it because silence almost killed me. The day I buried my son, I realized something terrifying. A parent should never outlive their child, but I did. And from that day on, my heart stopped beating, even though my body was still alive. My son was my reason for breathing. His laughter filled our tiny room like music. Even when life was hard, his smile reminded me why I kept fighting. I was poor, but I loved him. With everything I had, I promised him a better future, even though I didn't know how I would achieve it. Every night, I held him close and whispered, "Daddy will never let anything happen to you." I didn't know. Life was listening and preparing to break that promise. Life wasn't kind to us. I worked long hours for little pay. Sometimes we slept hungry, but my son never complained. Instead, he would look at me and say, "Daddy, when I grow up, I will take care of you." Those words kept me alive. If only love alone could protect a child, my son would have lived forever. One morning, my son didn't wake up smiling. He was weak, hot, quiet. I touched his forehead and felt fire. I told myself it was nothing, just a fever, just a bad day. But deep inside, fear had already entered my heart. I was wrong to wait, and that mistake will haunt me forever. When we finally reached the hospital, they asked for money I didn't have. They looked at me with tired eyes and said, "Do you have a deposit?" I looked at my son. He was breathing slowly. I begged, I knelt, I cried. A grown man, broken on a hospital floor. But rules don't bend for tears. That night, my son held my finger tightly. He looked at me and whispered, "Daddy, am I going to die?" My heart shattered. I smiled through tears and said, "No, my son, Daddy is here." He nodded slowly and said something I will never forget. "Daddy, don't cry." Those were his last words. Before sunrise, my son stopped breathing. No sound, no warning, just silence. The nurse covered his body, and just like that, my entire world ended. I screamed until my voice disappeared, but death does not answer questions. I buried my son with borrowed money, a small grave, a small coffin. As the sand covered his body, my legs gave way. I wanted to jump in with him because life without him felt meaningless. I went home alone, and the silence followed me. Days passed. I stopped talking, I stopped eating, I stopped living. Every corner of the room reminded me of him, his cup, his clothes, his voice echoing in my head. Grief became my shadow. If you are listening, please hear me. Love your children loudly. Never delay care. Never assume tomorrow is guaranteed. I lost my son, and no amount of regret can bring him back. Some wounds don't heal. You just learn to live with the pain. Every night, I still talk to him. I still say, "Daddy is here," but the room never answers. If this story made your heart heavy, then my pain was not wasted, because somewhere a parent